Health Club and Spa, and if you check out our Zenergy to Go page, you'll see many instructional videos like this that are available to you. They could be on yoga, guided meditation, pivot boot camp workouts. It could be nutrition. So check it out. Today I thought we'd do some foam roller stretching. So we know we use the roller for myofascial release. We'll get a little bit of myofascial release in, and we're going to combine it with using the roller as a prop to really open up, specifically today, the shoulder girdle, the chest, the upper back, and then we'll get a little bit into the lower back and hip flexors. It's going to be short and effective. So find your roller, and you're going to lay lengthwise on it. You're going to place the base of your skull, so I'm way high on this. You're going to place the base of your skull right on the edge of the roller. So find the base of your skull, find the edge of the roller, start there, and then begin to centipede or crawl your spine down the roller, finding space between every single vertebra and working your tailbone down toward your heels. Lengthening, aligning the spine, supporting the spine. And then we take your fingers to the ceiling, palms face each other. Pull your shoulder blades away from the roller. Keep extending through the fingertips as you open the arms out to the sides. Backs of the hands may or may not reach the floor. Maybe your forearms reach the floor. And we start to feel this nice opening in the front of the shoulders and the chest. Exaggerate the breath for a moment. And reset the spine. So we'll probably readjust several times as gravity does its job and we continue to find more space. Find the base of the skull, crawl the spine down, lengthen, open, and breathe. Could you draw the breath down into the bottom of the lungs, diaphragm down, breathe into the space behind your heart, get those ribs to move with the breath. And then gently rock side to side. You start to get into those long cords of muscle next to the spine. Get into the rhomboids. The bigger you go, you roll across the back of the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulders, across the hips. And all we're doing right now is creating a little bit of warmth, a little bit of blood flow, and yes, some myofascial release. We'll come to center, reset, once again, realign. Inhale, fingers to the ceiling. Exhale, arms overhead. So the thumbs start to reach toward the floor. Energy through the fingertips, biceps by the ears. If you have a tight shoulder girdle like I do, more than likely, half of your rib cage lifted off the roller when you reach toward the floor. So if that's the case, keep reaching through your fingers, biceps by the ears, and then press the bottom of the rib cage down into the roller. Did you hold your breath? Come back to the breath, expand and release. Then inhale your fingers to the ceiling. Palms face your knees. Exhale your hands into a bench press or a push-up position. And you're going to drive your elbows back. So some may even make contact with the floor with your elbows. Others, that may not happen in this century, right? So wherever you are, keep pressing your elbows back toward the floor. Fire up the upper back, press them back, press them back, press them back. Now relax, and you let the backs of the hands fall toward the floor. They're in more of a cactus formation, a 90-degree angle at the elbow. And the weight of the arms creates a more intense opening across the front of the shoulders and chest. Come back to easy breathing. A nice deep inhale and a long exhale to quiet the mind and to focus on where the sensations are, where the openings are, releasing the joints. Inhale, hands to the ceiling. Exhale your arms to wherever they're comfortable. You're going to extend the leg that's closest to your screen. So slide that leg out long, check in with your balance, energy through the sole of that foot, and then maintain a level pelvis. Decide if you want to play with the balance today and pick up the opposite knee. Give it a hug, deepen that hip crease. So the low back begins to press into the roller. The back of your extended leg reaches to the ground. And we start to wake up the hip flexor of the low back. Release. Set both feet on the floor. Find your balance, reset the pelvis. And then extend the leg that's furthest from your screen. Reach through the sole of that foot. Find your balance once again. Decide if picking up the other knee is appropriate today. Decide if you could reach with one hand and give it a hug so you can deepen that hip crease. Press the inner thigh of the extended leg down toward the floor. Can you take tension out of your neck and shoulders while we open up the hip, the low back? And then release. Set one foot on the floor and then the other. One more time, base of the skull, work the spine down, balance the hips. Inhale, fingers to the ceiling. Exhale, open the arms out to a T. Rock and roll side to side, iron it out. Find your lumps and bumps. And when you're ready, you're going to slip off one side of the roller. Move it out of the way. Actually, you're going to take it behind you and tee it up. And then set the tops of your shoulders on the roller. Okay? Tops of the shoulders on the roller. Hips are grounded. Take the weight of your head into your hands. And you're going to press your elbows back once again. Fire up the upper back. Press the elbows back. Press, press, press. Now relax. Take the weight of your head into your hands. And let your head fall back. So the head is still supported with the hands, but we're letting it fall back, finding space in the neck, the upper back, the chest. Hips remain grounded, and check in with your breath. Could you breathe into the top of your lungs? And take the weight of your head into your hands. And this next one, there are different thoughts on whether or not this is appropriate for everybody. I don't think any exercise is appropriate for everybody. So listen to your neck and your shoulders here. You're going to drop the front shoulder off the front of your roller, right? And keep your head supported. Now if you push into your feet, you're going to lift your hips enough to rock and roll over the trap and the top of the shoulder. If there's any pressure on your neck, it's not good pressure. So listen to that. Rock and roll over the trap. For me, it's an amazing release in the top of the shoulder. But if you feel anything other than amazing, then maybe it's not right for you today. Come back to center. Set the hips down. Readjust. Support the head and take it to the other side. Drop the other shoulder off the front of the roller. Press into your feet. Lift your hips. Rock and roll just enough to create some heat, some blood flow in the traps. Be very careful of the neck area. And come back to center. Realign. You're going to take your elbows to the roller and bring the roller down now so that it's across the middle of your shoulder blades. Support your head once again. Press your elbows back. Fire up the upper back. Fire it up, press them back, press them back, press them back. Now relax, support your head. Keep your hips grounded. Let your upper back lift and open, chest lift and open as you let your head fall back. Head is still supported with the hands. This should be a huge opening in the upper back and rib cage. Find your breath, expand and release. Support the head with your hands, level your chin. From here, you're going to pretend that your body is strapped to a board, and you're going to tilt that entire board 45 degrees so that you're angled towards your screen. Now the roller should hit you right on the edge of the shoulder blade. If you push into your feet and roll up and down, holy cow, who knew they had tension there? Rock and roll. And come back to center. Reset, support the head. Tilt 45 degrees to the other side. Rock and roll up and down the outer edge of the shoulder blade. And come back to center. One more big opening. You're going to take the elbows to the roller, take it a little further down. Now it's across the bottom of the shoulder blades. Be very careful of the floating rib there, right? So it's above that and right across the bottom of the shoulder blades. Support your head. Keep the hips grounded. You decide if you can lift and open the heart. Support the head as you let the shoulders and the head fall back. Biggest back bend yet. Open up the heart, the lungs. Breathe into it. Now, if you feel any pinching in the small of the back, then you've probably gone a little too far. You could pull your low belly in, send your tailbone down and away, and see if that creates enough space in the small of the back to make it somewhat comfortable. Support the head, level the chin, and come all the way up. So you're going to transfer that roller to behind your knees. And hopefully, if you're like me, you're feeling all kinds of heat, sensation, fire in the upper back. Yes? Feels good? All right. From there, you're going to roll it down. Flatten the surface area of your back body onto the floor. Flatten the shoulder blades, let the tops of the shoulders fall. Find space in your neck. Then press down into your strong legs. Lift your hips up and roll that roller underneath the tops of the glutes. Okay? Top of the pelvis. Let your hips get heavy. Now, if you take your hands to the roller and start to press that roller towards your feet, you'll feel some traction in the small of your back. It should feel good. Find some space there. Hips are heavy, you push with the hands and feel some space in the small of the back. Release with the hands. Find a position where you can pick up one knee and then the other and feel like you're balanced. Okay? The roller is under the top of the hips. And you feel some pressure, some subtle pressure on the sacrum. This should be good pressure. Squeeze the inner thighs, the knees together, and draw a very small circle on the ceiling with your knees, about a 4-inch circle. So you're just moving that subtle pressure on the sacrum. And then you reverse the direction. And then we get a little bit bigger and we start to make it a figure 8. And now we feel pressure across glute minimus, across the top of the glutes. You start to create a little bit of rotation in the waist and in the spine. And now let's make it a tick-tock, side to side. Roll all the way over glute medius. Big rotation in the spine, if it's right for your spine. Rotation is not always the answer for every spine. And we come back to center. Reset your roller. If you feel like you're falling off like I am, reset it. And then you're going to, one more time, like we did earlier when it was lengthwise, you're going to hug your right knee now into your shoulder. Hug it right into that underarm. You deepen that hip crease. Now notice if you created tension in your neck and shoulders. If you did, relax the shoulders down. Keep the outside leg bent. We know you can straighten it out. Most of us can. But right now, keep it bent and start to reach toward the ground with the sole of your foot. Continue to deepen this hip crease. So the sole of the foot may or may not make contact with the floor. We keep a level or square pelvis. Zip up a hot zipper and then slide your heel away. Inner thigh toward the floor. So now we got a great big opening in the hip flexor, the front of the thigh. Hip flexor is attached to the front side of your spine. So hopefully we're releasing the back as well. A couple of breaths here. Then we'll bend the extended leg. Bring it all the way up. Both knees in, draw them into your torso. Let them fall away for a moment. And then draw the outside knee into the underarm, the shoulder. Deepen that hip crease. Once you get it there, then soften the shoulders down again. Find space in your neck. Keep the leg that's closest to your screen bent. Send the sole of that foot down toward the floor. Again, it may or may not make contact with the floor. Square the hips. If you made contact with the floor, then play with the idea of sliding the heel further away. Energy through the sole of the foot, inner thigh to the floor. Low belly in or contracted to continue to find space in the front of the spine. Another breath or two. And then bend that knee. Set the bottom of that foot on the floor. Set the other foot on the floor. Push into your feet. Tailbone towards your heels. Reset the hips one more time. Sweep the arms overhead on an inhale. Biceps by the ears. Then push into your strong legs. Keep your inner thighs strong. Peel the tailbone up and off of the roller. One long line from shoulders to knees. Exaggerate your breath into the side ribs. Low belly is strong. And then we take your hands down to the roller. Slide it out of the way, off to the side. Taper your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Eventually your hips drop. And we'll draw the knees into your torso. Most people associate the roller with myofascial release here. I've moved it off to the side. And we'll do another version of myofascial release where you're just going to kick your heels to your butt, right? And eventually the hips peel off the ground. And if you have a tight low back like I do, and you can hear part of your back slapping the ground, then you probably need to do a little bit more of this, right? So start to make it bigger. Draw your belly button to your spine. Broaden the upper back. Maybe you can roll all the way from your hips to your shoulders, maybe to the base of the skull. And you might get one roll where you don't slap the ground. And we come all the way up. Have a seat. And guess what? That's it. So, quick and dirty. We got into the rib cage, shoulder girdle, upper back, lower back, hip flexors. Hopefully you're feeling some warmth, some sensation all the way from the base of the skull to the hips. Maybe a little bit taller, maybe a little bit energized. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Yvette Hubbard. I'm with Zenergy Health Club and Spa. Zenergy to go. Join me again. Have a great day.